Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die.
Again.
And we are back. I want to first start off in the most holy name of Allah, always bearing witness that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad. And the black God is his messenger. I would like to greet you all in the greeting words of peace in the beautiful Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. And welcome to your Thursday night talks, hosted by the 7th Region Coalition, where we're always doing what?
Saving lives.
Saving lives.
Always.
And this show is going to be about saving marriages and how this thing works. All in the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get right up into it. Get all up in it. All up in it. Yes. Oh, no. But before we do that, what are we going to do?
Oh, we have to subscribe, share, like. Make sure you copy and paste the URL. Send it to about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 friends. I feel like the count from Sesame Street.
And you know, in my famous words of Sister Michelle, you can always go to our previous adventures, shows, and just scroll down and look at whatever topic you would like to talk about or you'd like to see, because we got it and we on our way. Whatever you know. And you know what? That's an excellent idea. If you want to discuss a topic, or if you want us as your Thursday night talk, if you want us to, research or do anything in regards to a certain topic, please email us. Our email address is at the bottom of the screen. You can email us. You can get us, information in regards to the topics, whatever you would like to do in order to get that topic, displayed or talked about. Let us know. We'll be more than happy to provide that service to you. But before, I don't want to go into specific. Y'all already know my co-hosts on the ones and the twos. I am going to turn it over to Brother Tony.
All right,
so we can get started
on the ones and twos. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God, to whom holy praises are forever due, the Lord of the worlds, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I am forever thankful to Almighty God, Allah, for his divine intervention in our affairs and raising from among us the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and preparing one for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is feeding and guiding the multitudes of our people today. And that is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. Abaragani, Hotep, free the land, buenas noches. Greetings in all the languages and the beautiful greetings that our people greet one another with. Welcome to Thursday Night Talks, which is spearheaded and hosted by the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives. This coalition, this group, was assembled by student regional minister, Student Minister Patrick Mohammed, soon after the criterion message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, which took place on July 4th, 2020. We encourage you to go back to that invaluable lecture in which he was guiding our people to safety in a time of uncertainty. We are still doing that today. And we're doing this, beloved family, through the 9 ministries given to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan himself in the midst of the 2005 Millions More movement. You do not have to be a member of the Nation of Islam to participate in these 9 ministries. They are an opportunity for us to join on to our own and build on the unity that our people need in this hour. Because we are living truly in a time of so much trouble. But tonight we are focusing on the base ministry, the head ministry, because our chief focus is spirituality. It is the guiding light to everything that we should be doing. And it is the ministry of spiritual development, which is with this ministry, it bears the responsibility for assisting the individual member of the community in the process of heeding truth and right guidance. Respect, honor, and obedience to the authority of the Creator in all aspects of life are essential to peace, harmony, freedom, justice, and equality. In the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, self-development is an absolutely essential component of this microcosm of the new world. It is not enough that we grow horizontally through the acquisition of farms, factories, banks, industry, trade, commerce, money, good homes. Horizontal growth alone is death. All dead things are on a horizontal level. Therefore, we must grow vertically, grow in uprightness, or we will be overcome by our horizontal growth. The foundation of this ministry are study and training units designed on the guidance of Allah God to produce self-examination, self-analysis, self-correction, and to quicken in each of us the self-accusing spirit. For it is only when we are awakened morally that we have to face the self-accusing spirit that leads to our resurrection. And we encourage you to look up the letter of introduction to the self-improvement study guide, the basis for community development, which portion of the description of this ministry comes from. Tonight we have what I would consider to be one of the most beautiful couples in the Nation of Islam that have a testimony regarding to how when you put your faith in the forefront, when you put your faith in Almighty God Allah at the forefront, you could see what the results truly will be, as family itself is the cornerstone of nation. This family tonight has a testimony, and we encourage you to stay the course and tune in. And please, by all means, ask questions.
Please.
We turn it over to you.
Thank you, sir. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Omniscient, the Merciful. Let us learn about tonight's guest, shall we? Here we go. Brother Al was born in the housing projects of Essex County, New Jersey, to a single-parent mother who cleaned homes to take care of her family. He never met his father, and at the age of 10, where his mom passed away, He and his two younger siblings were blessed to be taken in by his older sister and brother-in-law that already had children of 7 of their own. They lived in one big family where the relationship shifted from nephews and nieces to brothers and sisters. Al played his all-time favorite sport of football, which also was a form of therapy for some of the pain he felt with the loss of his mother. He would later use his great interests and skills in football to play for his high schools, East Orange High, and later Clifford Scott. To bring some relief to his sister, Al would travel in the summers to Connecticut to spend time with his older sister and brother-in-law. Here he would be introduced to higher education and the world of business. With no previous desire to go to college because believing he lacked the skills needed, his nephew asked him the big question, can you read? He then asked him to read, and after hearing him read, said, if you can read, you can go to college. His nephew introduced him to some of his fraternity brothers from college, and Al was inspired. He applied for college and showed the football coach some of his skills. He was accepted. So he would move to Baltimore to attend Morgan State University. It would be there he would finally take on a major of social work, the only class that really appealed to him and caused him to want to know more. He would later pledge the fraternity of the young men and nephew that inspired him to go to college, Omega Psi Phi. He would play football and even meet the woman that would one day become his wife. Although there were many blessings that came into Al's life, he struggled with the vices of the world that would ill affect him and at times cause him to be right at death's door. Sister Farrah was raised by her single-parent mother in Baltimore, Maryland, and although she connected with her father, an artist and musician, from time to time, sorry about that, Sister Farrah. From time to time, she and her sister Fatima were blessed to spend a great amount of time with their grandparents in the Ashburton community, where she developed lifelong friends. Pretty much everyone in the home was an educator, so she was constantly under the microscope. Sister Farrah was in the second group in her neighborhood to be bused to schools out of our community. She went to the first all-girls public high school in the country, Western High School, and later attended Morgan State University, the HBCU, Historically Black College University, where her paternal grandparents met, and she would meet her future husband. We talked for hours, she said in the morning, on the phone about the picture of Elijah that both of them had in their homes. The spark Sister Farrah received her degree in international studies in Spanish and was heavily involved in politics during this time in an effort to find solutions to the problems of their communities they face. After she graduated, Sister Farrah moved to Memphis and learned the art of business under the tutelage of her aunt and uncle. In 1988, Sister Farrah returned home to her hometown in Baltimore and connected with Brother Al. A month later, her father got her a ticket to hear Minister Farrakhan at the Palladium, and Brother Al secured one as well. They heard a word that would forever change their lives from the path of self-destruction to one of community development. As they entered the mosque where Brother Jamil was the local minister, he quickly let them know that they had no boyfriend-girlfriend relationships, so they got engaged and set the date to be married. Brother Al went through the ranks and served as a lieutenant, then a captain in Muhammad's Mosque number 6 in Baltimore, Maryland for 3 years, and a regional captain for the 7th region for nearly 7 years. He has been a trainer and human development specialist for 27 years, with more than 25 years of youth services. He has held positions such as Dean of Boys at School of Original Thought in Baltimore and has co-founded many fathers initiatives in Baltimore as well as in Miami, along with manhood training at churches, all designed to produce transformation in youth and adult populations, often lacking personal, social, and academic development, and has been historically denied the opportunity to develop a mastery of life skills. He has traveled internationally as a teacher, trainer, and consultant and motivational speaker, and has even appeared on a reality television program in Great Britain for 1 month while teaching and training 13 young boys from Great Britain that were said to be unemployable. By God's grace and mercy, most were employed by Great Britain after a 30-day character development initiative. Brother Al currently serves as the Executive Director of Operations and co-founder of Respect for Life Educational Services, Incorporated, where he has traveled from coast to coast as a noted faculty member of the Youth Build Academy for Transformation, teaching and training at-risk youth with solutions to problems that plague our communities and preparing them for the world ahead of them. Hence, job readiness, writing, speaking, and proper handling of people skills. Brother Al is an executive member of one of the original founders of the Circle of Brotherhood, an organization that is designed to help Black men solve their own community problems. Sister Farrah entered into the Vanguard class and has also been an MGT lieutenant and an orientation instructress.
Which is the best.
From Baltimore to Miami, and now Jacksonville, Brother Tony, a post that she loves. Sister Farrah never seen herself in the path of education until being introduced to the Nation of Islam, learning about her immense value and so much more, grew excited about it, and for nearly 30 years, and has taught Spanish, Latin, geography, social skills, and whatever else needed to be taught or tutored in the Baltimore City public and private sector. Their very own school, Original Thought School in Baltimore, MUI Miami, and the Miami-Dade Public School System through the Overtown Youth Center. Yes, she was also blessed at the Overtown Youth Center to help pilot the Eden Place, a family resource center that catered to families of the students we serve and the community at large. She is now a proud owner of her own business, Farrah Wear. Did I say that right? Where she designs and crochets hats and makes jewelry, and she is a licensed life insurance agent and family financial planner. Brother Al and Sister Farrah have been in the institution of marriage for now 36 years by God's grace and mercy. Have 2 children, Nehemiah, 30, and Samaya, 33, and 3 beautiful grandchildren. When people ask what their secret is, they say, there is no secret. It is hard work. They are grateful, almost done, believe it or not. They are grateful for the family, MGT and FOI classes, and the teachings through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They have learned many lessons in their journey, but the one that stands out the most is that God is the only reality. Let us bring to our program Brother Al and Sister Farrah
Muhammad. Hey, look, Mama. I leave you as I greet you.
I'm gonna take a drink on that.
How many of you bear witness that what was said today is the truth and good for our people?
All right, pass the collection plate. No.
Yeah.
You're welcome, family.
Listen, and listen, and honestly, I think it was. I think you left a whole bunch out.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
They have left a lot.
We're gonna get to that.
And I bear witness
some of that with the questions.
Right, exactly. Well, welcome again to your Thursday night talk. So we're gonna get right into it. This question is for my dear sister, Sister Farrah. Minister Ava Muhammad states in her beautiful, profound book, Real Love, that a man needs admiration like he needs the air to breathe, as well as a man needs understanding and acceptance. Can you please, in all your 34 years plus and plus and plus, expound on these two statements?
Wow. Admiration. Absolutely. One thing I love about our great and mighty teachings, and this came early on, and I want to first open up in the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, to the one God that came to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I am so grateful and honored that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad had the ear of my parents and then dropped the seed, and that I would hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and respond to truth. I am eternally grateful. So I greet everybody in the greeting words of peace and paradise. I'm so grateful to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachings through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that teach us about what our Black man has gone through. You know, and it's very easy to see if you have the eye through the teachings. Right? I didn't always pay attention to that. I always was a part of the struggle. I've always been a part of the struggle, but I really didn't pay much attention to that part of it. Right. And then when I married and got into the MGT class and learned our natures, learned about our natures, and learned the need to lift our men and not to chop them down, because I didn't grow up with my father in the house. I did grow up around my grandparents. They were married, both sets. But my mother never had to answer to anybody except for Allah. And so it wasn't, Brother Al can probably share with you as well, a part of our wedding when Brother Jamil said obey in the wedding. And you know, I hadn't quite arrived.
She told Jamil, she said, get that out of the vows.
I said, Brother Jamil, I've never been that kind of, but I said, Brother Jamil, could we, because what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan shares though, because he had to, what did you have to do? He had to earn that respect. And I had to grow into it. So I was never combative, like, you know, hand on the hip. I didn't grow up like that. However, you couldn't disrespect me, right? I was flight. But yeah, I was flight. Like, I'm out of here. I can't do it. But I thank Allah for the teachings that going to that Saturday class helped to make woman and helped to build my relationship with Allah and understanding and going into mind the greatness that I saw in him. Because I saw some things before we married. I saw that final call. I saw he was always in the mosque. He was always present and always in the course of study. Wednesday, Friday, he was always there. And so that was an attracting force. That was very attracting because I'd already experienced the world, and I knew that I came on my knees. I didn't come like my children and, you know, some of the other did tap dancing. Right. I came in on my knees, and I was so grateful. So everything that I learned, I just internalized it and I used it, you know. And so I was always in great admiration of him. And so I didn't have to lie or anything like that. And whatever I saw that was of good, I would lift. And so that, I think, was one of the major components to longevity, really. And to this day, that doesn't mean that I don't go in and critique some things. That means
Right.
that where I see greatness, I'm going to lift. And so
Right.
that's just, the second part of that was, what was the
Yes,
second part?
ma'am. The second part about that is a man needs understanding and acceptance.
Right. And so true. Communication is one of my big things.
Come on.
It's one of my big things. And because I know that without it, there is no success. There's no success without healthy communication. And so I'm just grateful that once again, that MGT class is just, for me, it's everything. I went to school for years and went through, almost finished the grad program, this, that, and the other. But I never learned about the need to communicate with the opposite sex like I learned in that MGT class. And to build that relationship with Allah, because everything was personal in the beginning. Everything was personal, emotional. In the beginning, you come in and, what about me, and see me over here. And then as time progresses and you learn to build that healthy relationship with Allah, you take yourselves out of the center and Allah is in the center. Sometimes we are in the center. Whenever it goes left, one of us is in the center. I don't know which one, but one of us is in the center. We got to quickly get out of it and put Allah back. And that's the saving grace for us. And I know that I respect him. I respect and he's respectful. He's become a better listener. And I'm just grateful. So yes, I honor communicating. That's important in any relationship, but definitely in this training camp here, it is vital. So
Wow.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
All praise due to Allah.
May I give you an example of her inspiration? When someone would have said, no, find you a job. And she said to me, because I was a hustler. And she encouraged me, right, to stay independent as opposed to going to get a job. You know how much easier that was? She encouraged it.
Praise Allah.
And I embraced it because that's in my DNA. And I embraced it, and so that was the example when she said she encouraged the best part, what she saw in me, and whenever she encouraged, it was like turbo. That was turbo. It's time to go, take it, go.
That's right. Praise be to Allah.
That didn't come right from the beginning because we had two different lifestyles. I came from 9 to 5. Everybody's a teacher, social worker.
Right.
And Al came from a different world, right? Now, he had family members that did the same thing our family members did, but Al had a different life. But when he came, so I was a little nervous in the beginning. And I wasn't so eager to let him have control of finances. I had gone through something terrible and it wasn't good. And I, once again, to earn the respect. And so what I learned was with all my 9 to 5 and all my, I made it, but I didn't put it away like he did. And he would have different hustles. The world that he was in before, he took it and used it to do righteous product. And I believe Brother Sharif really was inspirational in that, and that this dude was making more than I was, and then he was putting it away, and then after I saw he's got my back, he just had covered off, and I was more broke than the 10 Commandments, and he was like, here's 200, here's I was like, okay, all right, I can do this. So that was showing me, what kind of man he was, what he was made of. So then because it doesn't happen right in the beginning. So for people that are out there and like, well, I don't know, you got to get this, you got to build the base. I watched him do something and then make a way. So that was, how that worked. Yeah.
Praise
He's a hustle.
Sister Farrah, what you were encouraging your husband to do was follow the teachings.
That's it.
Program of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's
so
it.
In that light, Sister Farrah, Brother Al, this is my question. In that light, so prior to coming to Miami, of course, you're both in Jacksonville. You're borrowed by Jacksonville for a period of time.
Oh, here we go.
Brother Mark, I heard your comment earlier, Brother Mark. Letting you borrow them for a while, Brother Mark. But prior to coming to Miami, you both own several businesses, including a school. You were doing well financially. Brother Al, you were asked to come to Miami to serve on the post as student regional captain by Minister Rasul. May Allah be forever pleased with us. You came with the idea in mind of serving in a special and very responsible post for your nation. Because, Brother Al, in truth, what we're dealing with a whole lot when it comes down to our men are broken men. So this is you weren't just doing this for a city, you were doing this regionally and in an international region. I want all of this to sink in real quick. You came with the idea in mind of serving in this special capacity, letting go of much of what you established in Baltimore.
That's right.
How difficult was it to make this decision? And Sister Farrah, how difficult was it to support your husband when this was presented to you? Brother Al, I'm going to go to you first.
I'm let you in on a secret. No, serious. I had a vision. I had a vision, and I ain't gonna go all into it, but it was my vision, it was my dream. So I was the star, and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan was teaching, and my captain was there. Certain individuals, they were there, and then all of a sudden, everybody went into a panic. Everybody went into a panic, and then like this secret compartment, I ran into the secret compartment. I hit this button, and the leader fell into my arms. And when he fell into my arms, I was holding him like I was holding a baby just coming up out of the womb. That's how careful I was. And then I sat him up. He stood up, right? Like so, and then stood at attention, boom, and put a smile on his face. And then he started walking and started moving. He was moving so fast that I lost sight of him. Now, this was in 89. I just got married in 89. We just got our own place, right? I was sleeping with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan in my ear. We soldiered 7 days a week. There was no off days. So it was constant. Farrakhan, everything. And Jamil, the way he loved the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, inspired me to want to know, how can I love like that?
Right.
And I found, I said, can you teach me that? He said, brother, I can't teach nobody. I just do. I just be me. So in other words, he was just telling me, just watch. Right. And our lessons tell us to settle, because all of us got stuff with us. So I'm watching everything that includes the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. And this brother was amazing.
Mhm.
Jamil Muhammad, he was amazing.
Jamil
And so then take on responsibility. So, my captain made me a lieutenant. He made me a lieutenant. Now this vision, remember, this vision is still there. So I'm not letting nobody outwork me. No, I mean, and I didn't need, to be honest with you, when we was giving out pins and things like that, my spirit was, I didn't need that for no inspiration. I was selling 1,200 papers. I had a squad. We had a squad of 14 men, and like every issue, we was getting like 27 to 3,000 papers. And so therefore I had to, because I was the lieutenant, I had to take it. And so it compelled me to be in the street every day to please Farrakhan, to please Farrakhan, to please Farrakhan. Learning, through this with the Final Call newspaper and the rejection, right? It was building character, because at first it was offending me. And then after a while, I started slipping it, getting away from all of it, and then, touching people. And so everything is about making Minister Farrakhan smile. That's what I wanted to do.
Come on, beloved.
Nothing else. Then nothing else count to me, And I met Minister Rasul because in 1988, it's when Rasul and Jamil, they were traveling because they was buying the chairs. We had got the National Center, but now we're selling chairs now.
Right.
And Minister Rasul was traveling all around the country raising, funds, and Brother Jamil was doing the same thing. And Minister Rasul came to Baltimore. And we just had a connection. It was just a natural connection that was there, And the fact that he, is a son of who we now say the exalted Christ.
Let's talk about it.
Now, I didn't take that lightly. That meant, now, remember now, I want to please Minister Farrakhan.
Right.
Now it connects me, with one who, is right with him.
Right.
Our relationship got tighter and got tighter and got tighter. And I believe at the Million Family March, because, Rasul is very observant. He's a soldier. He's a soldier's soldier,
Right.
And I was a captain. I had been a captain. So I had my uniform on at the Men's More movement, and I think he recognized my stripes. Because before I know it, Brother Mark was in Jacksonville. And I told Minister Rasul that Marcus, a good helper of Jamil, was in Jacksonville. He was a student minister. He was a lieutenant. He was a secretary, and got plenty skills. Rasul said, good. Have him give me a call. And so I said, Mark, I talked to the minister. He wants you to give him a call. I said, Mark, make my word bond now. And so Marcus went, he made the contact with Minister Rasul, so a week went by and I called Marcus and I said, Mark, so how'd it go? And he got real quiet. I said, what's up, Mark? He said, he started asking about you. And he wanted to know if you would come and help him in Miami. I said, no, Mark, Mark. No, brother. Then Marcus did this, right? Marcus said, he asked you to give him a call. Now you make my word bond.
Come on.
Like that.
Come on.
Yes, come on. And you know how skillful the Ra is.
Yes, he is.
Ra is so, I mean, this brother, man, oh my God, this brother right here.
Yes, sir. That one right
this
there.
Brother right here.
Right
he, I finally called him up, and then he wooed me for about 2 hours.
Wow.
And then he said, will you come help me? I said, yes, sir. He said, good, it's done. I'll talk to you later. Wait a minute. What the hell? Now remember now, this is one of the sons of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and my vision is I got to put a smile on the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's face.
Right. Beautiful.
And we had everything going on in Baltimore.
By his grace
Yes,
and
sir.
mercy. Yes, he did.
Brother Lyle and I, you know Brother Lyle. Brother
Yes,
Lyle and I
sir.
had 5 schools. We had 5 what we call down in Florida F schools. But that's my angel. You know, we had 5 schools in Baltimore where we had at least 5 to 3 FOI there. That was changing the culture of the learning environment, allowing the teachers to teach and train.
Come on, bro.
In the Indian culture, we did that. And then, you know, we had our own school. We created our own school. Myself, Brother Lyle, Sister Cynthia, Sister Clarissa, you know, we came in together and we built our own school. We had our own school called the School of Original Thought, right? We was in school from 6:30 in the morning to like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
Wow.
All year round.
Mm.
We were graduating students at 14, 13 years old, going off to college with a 3.5 average. The hardest part was the social aspect. But I learned when you have your school, your students don't fail.
That's right.
Right,
Oh,
come on.
Oh no. I understand now why I'm like, because they gonna get it.
Yep.
Our baby's gonna get it when they feeling it from uncle.
That's right.
When they feeling it from auntie. You know, it's a whole different environment. And then the lost found, right,
Yes, sir.
heard that we had a school, right? Look, and they was bringing their babies to the school, right? Now, you know we had corporal punishment.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Look, now we talking about the work that we was doing before we came to Miami.
Right.
Right.
Finances wasn't no issue.
Right.
Yeah, heating and air conditioned business.
Plus, I had I was a duck man. Duck man. Heating and air conditioning. You know, man, I was getting and then we only ate one meal a day, so I never took a break. I used to finish 4 floors, right? Make $2,000 a week.
Wow.
Running duct system, just running. All I did was running. Right? We had a program where brothers was just coming home from the penitentiary, and Brother Lyle and I was teaching a study group on Friday, and then a stretching and breathing class at 6 a.m. Saturday and Sunday morning. Now, you know, all this going on, I wouldn't have been able to do this without this MGT GCC now.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
In the most holy and gracious name of Allah, we thank him for intervening in our affairs in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. We thank him for his wise choice in choosing the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank the both of them for our leader, our teacher, and our guide. It is in that sweet Holy Spirit in those 3 names, I greet my family in the nation's greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I had to get that out because if it wasn't for the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, we wouldn't be here.
Come on, brother.
If Rasul, I can't tell y'all all of it, right? But you know, if you know the Ra. Look, remember when Elijah Muhammad said, I'm just going to share this piece, right? When he said what Malcolm had did, he said he will never, until he tries,
right?
Yes.
thoroughly.
Thoroughly.
That's who the Ra is. I believe that's who the Ra is. Because Rasul told me, he said, once I agreed to come, right, he said, Brother Al, I'm going to test you like you've never been tested in your life.
Good.
Wow.
Starry-eyed. The honorable, look, I was still starry-eyed. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son didn't know what I was walking into when you start talking about captainship.
Oh, Lord.
All right, now I'm talking about captainship.
Right.
Right.
That's a whole nother relationship.
Yes.
Everybody don't get to do that. Everybody don't get to do that.
No.
What? You talking about testing and trying? Hey, family.
Yes, sir.
Look, now, hold up, T. Then we coming to Miami now, right? I'm gonna stop right here. We coming to Miami, right? Now watch this now. We put the house on the market. Now we had our own home, split level home, 5 floors on it. You know, I mean, we was good. And we sacrificed it all.
The housing market crashed and we couldn't sell it. We couldn't sell it. We couldn't sell it. Sister Yvonne and Brother Marcus were able to sell theirs the year before, but we couldn't sell ours. Couldn't sell it. So we had to rent it out. So I told him, you know, I was all for it. I was excited because we had come down there.
Now I was getting to that because now
we had gone down there.
Look, watch this now. Let me finish this piece right here. I gotta finish this so bring some clarity to it, right? When we moved to Miami, we didn't have nowhere to live. We didn't have no job. When we drove to Miami, now this is strictly faith. Master Farrah.
It's faith, beloved. Come on.
She never explained. She never backed down. She never gave me nothing except let's go.
Ooh.
Who is that woman?
You hear me, brother?
Who's that lady?
When we get to Miami, I got about $7,000 in my pocket, right? And so my daughter, Samaya, says, we put the stuff in storage. Samaya comes up to me and she says, Daddy, you have never failed us. Now, where do we go from here? I said, baby, we're going to a hotel. She said, let's go. Bam. That's the journey, and it's been like that ever since. And that training, what I did, beloved brother Rasul Hakeem Muhammad.
My God.
It was the greatest godship training. I'm talking about family. Hey, look. Any questions I don't want to take no about, you know. But when you start talking about the relationship, a captain relationship with Rasul, brother, that's divine training. That's why when we got there in 2007, he had 9 captains. I was his 10th one.
Man.
Yes, sir.
I can bear witness.
I bear witness.
We all can bear witness.
That's the rock. Godship training. They talking about Godship training. That's Godship training. I'm telling you, Godship training. Some people took it different. Now, Amos Farrakhan taught us that the only reality is the reality of Allah. So I can't be mad at him. I got to be at Allah.
That's right.
Everything got to be directed to Allah. And whenever it got too tough for me, I focused on Minister Farrakhan.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Boom, went right to him. And I kept moving forward. Because Ra is the man. Ra is the bad. He's the God in what he does. Ra is the God. When you talk about training, one of the best.
Alhamdulillah.
Sister Farrah, your testimony in regards to this.
Wow.
That journey coming to Miami, like I was saying before, I absolutely we came down to Miami twice before we actually moved. And when I tell you, when Brother Al says he wooed us, he took us into the studio in his home. And when I tell you, from Stevie Wonder to you just name it, he played the piano, he sang. we just had a beautiful time, and I came there. We got a chance to go and see the believers, and we're like this, and I'm like this, just personally in reference to these teachings. Wherever there's an opportunity to help out,
that's right,
Sister Kalila. What are my words when I come in the building? Where you need me.
Where you need me, I'm available.
For post. And so
right.
when you get an opportunity, you know, and when he gets an opportunity to work out on a whole nother level, to once again make the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and these great and mighty teachings that are infinite, gets a chance to work out in that capacity, I'm in. Let's go. In fact, my words to him were, make it happen, Captain. Make it happen. And so we took our house and put it on a trailer of, what is it, 10-foot trailer? 17-foot trailer.
27 foot.
27 foot. And moved to Jacksonville in a 7-foot. We had gotten rid of everything. And so we just, you know, we were just grateful to have an opportunity. So for me, I'm always going to be in when it comes to doing, even to this day, wherever we are, Jacksonville, let's go. You either part of the solution, part of the problem. Right. And if we have an opportunity to get in and fit in and help out in these teachings, that's why we live. That's our purpose.
Sister Farrah, just from my experience with you, whenever you're presented with a new challenge, you're like, come on, let's go.
That's do it.
You. And that's you, brother.
Allahu Akbar. And these classes, MGT class, the beautiful thing I love about, and I just take certain things as I travel and share them with many people, especially women, that the minister teaches on, that, you know, we don't need any silly women. And silly doesn't mean uneducated. It doesn't mean, it just means that you can't step up to the challenge, right? So we, in the Vanguard and even in the MGT class, you just got to close and cover. That's part of our training.
That's right.
And so when we do something and we got to make a move, you know, we're ready. We're ready for COVID. We're ready. We are ready. We've been taught, we've been trained, cover down, store your food. All of those things are constant preparation and building your relationship with Allah, and Allah being sufficient. You know, so I left my mom and my sister. That was the hardest part. And the believers that you've grown up with, you know, from your very beginning, your inception of it, when you've come under that umbrella. So that was very, very, very difficult. There was not like easy breezy like that, but I knew that my mom was secure with my sister Fatima. I knew that she was secure, and I knew that the believers would be fine, but we have an opportunity. We were asked to do something. You asked to do something, to go help. Yeah. My little major that nobody understood why I was in it, international studies with a focus on the Middle East and Latin America. Who does that? They said. Who did? I did. I don't know why. Until I come to this great mighty nation, and it's all about, you know, this great big 196,940,000 square miles, and much of who, you know, we worship with, they're in those places, and our people. You know, South and Central America. You and I moved to Miami with Spanish. Who, you know, So I thank Allah for the whole journey. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly. And as you said in the beginning, and the indifferent, I've met a lot of beautiful people. My captains from the very beginning, with my sister Maishala, Sister Sheila at that time, my sister Captain Leslie, a trendsetter, just powerful Black woman and a black belt. Then moving to Miami and having the privilege of Baltimore. That's West Point. Mid-Atlantic was West Point, right? Your reason for not being in class or whatever is death, and death, right? So you make it out. You just make it out. You make it work. If you say you believe in this, build your work schedule around us, around what you say you believe. Build your school. around us. That's what I did. Whatever I took on, I became a school teacher so that I could build my world around that. I was supposed to be an attorney, but I still am a defender of our people.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm a defender and a lifter of women that I love the most. But so for me, this is just, it's par for the course, all of it. And I'm grateful. And whatever Allah puts before us next, you know, I'm here to work. What you need, you know.
That's right.
So
that's right.
but yeah.
Well, here's what we need.
Yeah.
As we shift gears, because I wanna draw on some more wisdom from y'all, but from a different perspective now,
Yes, sir.
slightly different topic. You both have led exemplary lives as a Muslim married couple for well over 36 years. Could you please provide some advice for other married couples who are right now experiencing difficulties and considering divorce?
Wow.
I just want to start, something just from the beginning. Now, those first 2.5 to 3 years, that is very difficult.
It is.
Yeah.
That's very wow. We had Jamil. I mean, we had people that advocated for marriage because it had got to the point in the beginning.
2 weeks in. 2 weeks in.
Oh my God. But the Honorable Louis Farrakhan said to us, and I took it personally, when he said, if you listen to me, this is what the messenger told him, I'll have you so smart, you will have the devil wrapped around your finger and you won't even know he exists unless you look at it. Now, I'm talking about the devil within me. Low self-esteem, little arrogance, little pride. I'm talking about that devil. And the FOI had to kill him. That military of the FOI humbled that joker. And it has to be. And this training will take brass, arrogant, cocky joker and brother and humble him. And then take a quiet, meek, soft-spoken brother and make him a roaring lion.
That's right. That's right.
That's this patience.
That's right.
This right here, this is what it does. When you submit and you come into your gifts, your skills, your talents, and your ability. Therefore, your prayer, your life, your sacrifice, and your death is all for this. It's all for this. The question was,
the question was, could you please provide some advice for other married couples who are experiencing difficulties and considering divorce?
Okay. Like that first 2 years, I want to get that out. It's going to be difficult because it's new. You see things differently, two different natures. You look at a story and you write something, it's going to be totally different. It's going to be totally different. Then you got to learn.
Stay in your classes.
Oh, God.
Stay in your class. Stay in your MGT class. Build around your MGT class.
Got to stay in class.
Because it's never old. It's always enlightening. And it's so important that you keep building your relationship with Allah. If you don't, you will succumb to foolishness. You've got to stay. You got to stay in your Friday night study group and deal with the God within. What we have is priceless. That's right. And that's the only way we've been able to manage this thing. There's no crystal ball. There's no secret. None of that. All of it is what we have been given. It's like if I miss my MGT class, I'm very sick because I really don't want to get anybody else infected. If I got a cold, I really remember that because that was very big in Miami. Because you don't want to come and make other people sick. That's really inconsiderate, right? And so I really learned the art of that, and especially when Al was going through that trial, making sure that I don't bring something. But That's very serious. But my class is so much fun, and I'm learning so much. Sunday, that word, oh my gosh, when you mentioned Sister Anya has been my moral compass. That captain in Miami has been my moral compass. And I mean, just straight up moral compass, the biggest umbrella you can imagine of keeping the women protected. And they do in every city. But there's something about that heart of a Sister Anya that was that priceless. And Sister Naima, and just mentioning that because they are part of the journey that allows us to grow to another level.
Right.
Ooh, the West Point training, then you get the spiritual development that is priceless. Because we went there when we were spearheading some things. You know, when we spearheaded Message to the Black Man and took it to even, how could it be taken to another level but to have a workbook attached?
One of my favorite subjects.
God, and you're gonna work your way through it. How to make bean soup, but then a workbook for how to cook. My daughter passed the cooking component with bean soup before I did. Because it doesn't matter how long you've been around. If you're in it and you follow instructions, you could be there. You could be in the forefront. You could be with all of this knowledge. And so that's what we have come. And I'm just, who doesn't want to run to that class on Saturday morning? But that is the reason why, because when I keep going back and it tells me not to lean on my own understanding, because there we are in the center.
Right.
Get out of it. You go home when you get taught, when you have your class of, like I have my little table set up in there. I never used to do that. I had my little table set up for two with all the fine china and all of that just set up. So I walk by it. I'm like, man, that's high civilization, lady.
That's right.
That's right. And, and to do that, to be able to, proper handling of people, how to give birth to a God when you did the best you could the first time around, and you're learning about the mental womb and the physical womb now. What? Because I'm never going to deliver another physical baby. Not that it's not a project, but to be whatever product or project I do bring in to fruition, now I know that Allah must be at the center of it and how to maneuver it. Right. So it's just, that is the way we've been able to continue to maneuver, because I keep remembering, lift him. When you ask him something, when you got a problem with something, I got a problem with something. Sit down. I don't, I'm not doing, you can't just do that with him, period. But it won't go well.
Your husband.
Yeah. And in the beginning, I remember the minister asked, he taught us about, we have a choice on whether we want heaven or hell. Why, after I just left hell, would I not seek heaven? And once you know how to get it, then that's how you go after it. So I'm going to ask, I'm going to woo him. Right. And I mean, I'm very real. I'm not like, Sister Kalila said, now I know the black and white of you. and I do like we need to be. And but he is well. But we respect each other. We respect each other. And that's through our teachings. That's through our teachings.
May I add something? Like the FOI class, I'll never forget. I'll never forget Minister Abdul, attorney Abdul Arif Muhammad was my regional. And I'll never forget, he was teaching, he was in FOI class. And he was teaching the Holy Quran, where Allah says that the man is the maintainer.
Right.
He said, brothers, he said, if your wife is helping you maintain your duty and your responsibility by bringing money into the house, paying bills, you too must wash some clothes, fold some clothes, wash some dishes, you know, and even cook.
Yes, sir.
Right? To balance it out. Now, when he told me that, I was like, okay, well, I want peace. I want heaven, you know, and so I know I'm good at that, you know, because I was taught, I was raised like that, you know, take care of my stuff, you know, and so it's no problem when my wife was helping me do that. Of course, I'm going to do that. Don't worry about when she come home. Oh, it's done. Oh, it's done. Oh, it's done because it's bringing balance to the home. It's bringing balance to. Because I didn't know it before. I thought that was her duty. You know, I was a little sandpaper. I was a little rough on the edges. You know, I was, man. I thought that was her responsibility and that was hers and that wasn't mine. But then when Minister Abdul Arif taught me, I was like, gotta make an adjustment. You know, and then heaven lies at the foot of the woman. You know, you wonder, like, at the foot, that means the base. That means based on how I gotta learn how to handle her. You know, and I try to listen better because one thing about her, she'll tell me what it is that she wants.
Now I beautiful.
I didn't
and when she tell, even if I don't want to hear it. Because I think I'm doing something and I ain't doing nothing.
Beautiful.
But then when she tells me, right, you know, what to do, and then I suck it up, and I come back and I do. And then everything turns out all right, though, you know.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to
have
Allah.
communication with one another. If you don't have communication, you have nothing.
Nothing.
You know, so if you got an issue with one another, you have to speak your piece.
Right.
And put Allah at the center. We're not at the center.
Prayer before communicating.
Come on.
So that I don't lean on my own understanding.
Right.
I promise I don't go to prayer. Some of Forrest, Baltimore with a D might come out just a tad. Baltimore with a D is a different place. So I'm grateful for my constant MGT training. And also,
now wait, let me put this part in there now.
Study.
Now, when she agitates my pride and my ego, right, and my ego, right, and then you know, little friction come. Now she want to go to prayer, right? Hold it now. Hold it. Look, that is like, oh man. But then I see Allah's calling you. Humble yourself and go. Oh, I don't feel like it. Oh, but then Allah's calling though, right? Because the only reality is the reality of Allah.
That's it.
So if Allah's calling me, it's agitating my spirit. You know, I'm going through it. And then before I know, when I come up, you know, it's like Salam Alaikum. You know, you feel that peace. But I'm gonna tell you, in the beginning, boy, I don't want it. It's the right thing. And that's why I tell brothers, I say to brothers, find you an MGT that loves Allah and his messenger, her messenger, just as much or even more than you.
Okay, I'm glad this is recorded. Me and Brother Malik heard that. You got that, Brother Malik? All right.
Brother Malik is on it.
Brother RoboCop.
Wow.
We love you too, brother.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Well, we have more questions for you.
But before you start, Brother Tony,
go ahead, Sister.
I want to ask, because this is going to be like, because let's go into the topic, right? A testimony of overcoming obstacles, a Fireside chat. Now, keep in mind that this is a Fireside chat with the two of the most beautiful believers in our nation. So we're going to have to do a part 2.
Oh, please. Please.
It's mandatory.
We have to.
We're asking.
This is an ask.
With your permission.
With your permission.
With your permission.
Because
Thank you for
I
your
don't.
Married, but we're asking.
But look, our lives belong to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Abdul Farrakhan and our nation. That's our nation. This is
Look,
not
we've
all
already
is.
started.
Brother
Look,
Chad,
part
no,
two.
part two.
Look, we got
We
to
need
have a
part
part
two.
two.
Part two.
Allah,
Part
Allah.
two. Part two.
All right, listening audience, put in the chat part 2 if you want to
Just
do
put
part
two.
If you
Put
want a
two.
part two, put
Put
it in the
two.
chat right now.
Deuce.
Just do it,
If you want a part two, put it in
If
the
you
chat.
want a part two, do the do.
Uh-huh.
If you want a part two, do the do.
So,
Just Lily, you're gonna get a recording
Allahu
studio.
Akbar.
Right.
Sister
Allahu
Farrah,
Akbar.
Uh-huh.
answer
Allahu
Sister
Akbar.
Farrah's question, where you need her? We
Oh,
need,
oh,
we
here
need
Oh,
we
her.
here they go. Here they go.
Here
Here
we
they
go.
go.
Here
Here
we
they
go.
go. Here they come. Here they come.
Janella.
Janella.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar.
Listen,
There is a need,
brother.
beloved. There is a
Listen.
need.
Right.
But look, part
Brother
two,
Elijah
part
wants
two.
part two.
Oh, they coming. They coming.
Brother
They
Johnny,
coming.
part 2. Malik, part 2.
Listen, because the thing is, this is so needed. We have no
Absolutely.
idea
Yes,
of
Yeah.
our couples are suffering in silence
come on.
Yes.
with a smile.
Teach.
Oh, we
And
gonna be real.
I'm telling you, suffering in silence is very hurtful
Ooh.
because they're looking at the longevity of, oh, we've been together for this many years. Okay, but the question is, for those that many years, how long have you been happy within those years?
Mm.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
We have to talk real.
Sister Kalila, happiness is an active decision.
Right.
Mm.
Right. So my thing is, if we're not happy
Come on.
in this constitution or institution of marriage, then what are we doing?
You said a key word. You said the institution, which the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talks to us about the institution of marriage, because that's what we're in. And something I said earlier, that in the beginning, when Brother Al used to share that with people, it used to pluck my black nerves. That's between y'all. Because it felt like institution of marriage, right?
Right.
Progressed, I realized that these learning institutions, see, this thing is a classroom. And if you don't make it a classroom and learn daily, if you don't study that person that you're with, if you don't study the teachings, I remember Sister Naima, this is something that was so beautiful. We be in study group. And I think this is where the desire to really put the teachings in that format came from, because everybody was so opinionated. Oh, well, I think this in study group, and well, I think this. In her mind, she would share, and I'm paraphrasing, that's why you're all here. That's what got you here. After all else fails, your opinions, right? So we had to closing the gap. Message to the black. If you weren't coming from what saved your black life,
come on.
You can do that after hours if you want to talk about your opinions. But this is what saved our lives. So we have to go to the text, how to eat to live. We have to go to Message to the Black Man, the fall of America. Look at what's going on in this world. This is what has been given to us. Our opinions are what made us collapse. Now, sometimes now our opinions are pretty decent, because if we stay in the teachings, but if we just la land out there, what? So I'm so
we gotta hold on.
Yes,
It's all the time that we have to hold on.
That's the success, because in the beginning, 2 weeks in, I was ready to go because I was flight. You couldn't just talk to me, yell at me.
He called you a punk.
Yeah, he called me a punk. I was like, I'm ready to go. Brother Jamil on the other line of the phone said, just give it a minute. Give it a couple before we stay put. Kizzy, your name's Kizzy. And so we had to do, and then after that, we were fighting. be a part of your mosque. And this is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do anything and you just stay at home on your couch and start looking at each other, you're gonna find some crap.
Right.
But if you stay in the work, you at your MGT class, you helping sisters or brothers, whatever
That's
you may
right.
be doing. If you take on something, create a post for yourself. Hold up now. Hold up. When I say create a post for yourself, something that you have gotten approval for. Something that is good for your nation. Build, start gardening, urban gardening. If the more you have time to keep building and making something happen, the less time you have to look at each other and, whoa, that's not good. That's not good. You made me sick. We building. Okay, we got something to do. We can ready to go to study group. We can ready to learn about the God.
Right.
We're getting ready to go to class. We dealing with how to give birth to. What if you still in the classroom, the womb of building, creating businesses, the mean bean. I didn't hear the mean bean. We got Mr. Mean Bean.
Oh, see, that's why I'm saying this is why the part two. We
We're
have
gonna get
so
to that
much.
in just a
Listen, we
moment.
got so much.
That's the teaching. Do for self or suffer the consequences. And we have learned it. And I thank Allah for that family, Sister Denise and Brother Ron in Fort Lauderdale. 82, Muhammad's Mosque, number 82. I thank Allah for them as well. They helped to groom us in the business of helping set up financial houses for people, first dealing with our own Black financial house, right? Because that was one of my deficits, and it helped us to get really anchored in understanding how it works, and then helping families to get so they would have to have GoFundMe's. We helping them to get policies and
Yes,
you know,
ma'am.
in a good and honorable way, and not like this system, you know, handles not all of it, but a lot of it. You know, people look at, oh God, here they come, insurance. You know what I'm saying? And so I thank Allah for those two beautiful people that helped to groom us in that fashion, in that business that is absolutely life-saving for us and our people. So
value of that MGT class. Because I was a little, something was wrong, you know, something was wrong with me. I was a little off, right? And whenever I would like do something that wasn't right, and she checked it, but she checked it in such a way I knew she was careful. She was very careful on how she did, and I recognized that. And when I recognized how careful, because she could have said it in such a way, but she said it in a very careful way, and it makes me embrace that energy. You know, I mean, it wasn't bang, like, and then because you know, my natural reaction, if I'm hit, I'm hitting back. You don't have to worry about it; it's already on. You know, but because the spiritual journey, right? When I feel Mark, I said she's very careful on how she handles me, how she checks me on things.
Wow.
I respect that. And it made me humble myself down where I might go over and hug, you know, because I appreciate it. Because she could have said something, you know, to bring that nigga out.
Right.
You know?
Beautiful.
You know, but the MGT class is the greatest thing that we have.
If we talk freedom, justice, and equality, if that is what we are, that's our flag. And the minister says that if there's no freedom and justice, there's no love. So I thank Allah for what has come to my husband through the FOI class, even when Brother Sharif asked them to ask early on,
training.
Go home and ask your wife when's the last time she was happy.
Oof.
And
oh God. Oh Lord.
Sharif used to send us, that's how he did us. We had FOI class in Washington, D.C. He gave us those instructions, boy, you have to go home and ask. He always made it, because you know, FOI class, long hours, take a rose home. 1 rose, go get 1 rose and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
He was a trainer.
Bring that back. Bring that old school back. Bring that old school
Bring that beat
back.
back. Bring that beat back.
Selena got all
I want to hear
songs
that
tonight.
beat, right? Bring that beat back.
Go to the monk.
And you know what? Part 2 will probably be, I'm just thinking, the trial that we just came up under, and evolving love. Yeah.
Oh, we got to do that. We got to do that.
Yeah.
That would have to be that through the fire. When you say through the fire, for better, for worse, for sicker and good health. Yeah.
She made her word bond. She did. She made. Thank you. I thank Allah so much. She made
And
her
I
word
couldn't
bond.
have done it with a better sergeant.
She made her word bond.
Please.
She made her word bond, bro, Mark. I mean,
Tighten up,
come on now.
Tighten up,
Come
sweetheart.
on now. We in battle right now. We don't need nothing. Everything we need, it has to be strong. We in battle. You know, and just point blank, we in battle. You know, we in battle, and that's what Islam does for us. We in battle, right?
Brother Al, since Sister Farrah mentioned the mean bean, Brother Al, as a supplement to your income, you developed the idea of the mean bean when you were here in Miami, from what I remember.
Yes.
And how did this idea of developing the mean bean pies come about? And how did your bean pie get perfected? And Brother Al and Sister Farrah, what is the lesson attached for husbands striving to be good husbands and maintainers of their wives and family in regards to just the mean bean by itself?
Hey, look, T, first and foremost, from Baltimore, my captain. My captain, Abdul Akil Muhammad, you know, I mean, we had soldiers, man. We had soldiers. And Captain Akil and Abdul Arif, you know, they opened up a bakery in Baltimore, right across the street from the mosque on Garrison Boulevard in Baltimore City, right? They opened up the bakery, and I'm gonna tell you, every day, that's when the bean pie was $1, $2. It was $2, but look, we was buying the pie for $1. We were buying the pie for $1 and then making $1. And it was at least 25 to 30 of us buying bean pies every day.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Every day. Because Baltimore, Muslim city, Muslim was there, you know, and the bean pie was famous. Famous. We used to be getting 150, 100 bean pies, 50 bean pies, you know, every day. That's how the brothers was working. That's how we was working. We was living like that. And that's why whenever we had a situation where we needed soldiers, we can get soldiers in 20 minutes.
Deploy them.
We can get soldiers in 20 minutes. You know, if that thing went down, we can get soldiers like that because, you know, we was a lot of independent soldiers. And we work for NOI security. You know, so the bean pie, I learned it now. My brother Kim and my brother Kevin, which is KT Kitchen, that's who has the bean pie in Baltimore right now. But my brother Kim, him and I, we started working together with the bean pie. So he showed me how to make the bean pie, and him and I started working the bean pie in Baltimore, right? And then when I came to Miami, you know, one of those, you know, it was rough. You know, hey,
That's the same culture down here, but
you know, it was a struggle. It was really a struggle, and you know, and then
because
I was
in that position, you couldn't go work. It was hard to work somewhere as a regional. You know, as a captain, it's hard, but as a regional, it was very difficult.
I had to stay locked in.
Yeah,
you know, I had to stay locked in, and so then I got approval to work out of the kitchen in Muhammad's Mosque number 29.
Yes, sir.
In Miami.
I
got to work out of the kitchen. So then we started, you know, setting up the mean beans, selling it right out of the corner. Was it 56, 7th Avenue, North 56 North 7th Avenue.
5600
Right there on
Northwest
the
7th
corner.
Avenue.
I'll put a
Yes,
big
sir.
sign. I'll put a big sign out there, and I would be baking the pies, and the people would be coming to get the pie right there in Miami. You know, and so that's how we started. And then, you know, I moved in the community, you know, with my cart going in and out of Overtown and Liberty City and Little Haiti, all up in them streets, you know, moving bean pies, and then we selling some incense and oils, you know, and so that's how we started with the bean pie, you know, and then just knowing that, you know, we got the best bean pie. We have the best family. It's like if you was ever in the game, you know, and there was about 15 of y'all out there, right? You knew you had top. You understand what I'm saying? You knew you had the top. I don't care who was selling whatever they were selling. I don't care what. Once you taste this one, right? This one right here gonna have an everlasting impression on your mind.
I can bear witness.
I've been witness after that.
That's why it's called mean. It's so mean.
I was selling the bean pie that you were producing during the pandemic, if you remember.
Hey, come on now.
Yeah, you did a great job. Thank you, brother Tony. Help us get out there.
T was buying 15
we had the
and 20
cheesecake
bean pies
bean
from
pie. We had some. Yeah, that's when I was really in the game then.
Yeah. Tony had his customers. He had his customers, and he was coming getting 15 pies, you know, 13 pies,
sure was.
You know, 19 pies, you know, helping us out.
Yep.
And that's how we push that bean. Wherever we go, that bean gonna be there.
But whatever you have to do to make ends meet to keep your family, you know, sometimes you got to start working with somebody for somebody in the school system, social, whatever it is. You got to keep your family afloat. You can't just say, you know, I'm gonna make it happen. Your family out of doors, and you know you can't come up with $100. So no, there wouldn't have been any smiles and all of that. Then we had to been, you know, let's dig deep. Right. And so you got to make a plan. You got to have a customer base. He had 100 customer lists, different things, you know, that you're working with to make sure that it's success. Because you don't want, you know, problems come in where you say, I'm using the teachings, I'm doing this, and you go out and you making $50 a week and not making it happen. Yeah, you got the final call, but you may need to supplement with that with something else until you're able to make it so that it works where you can bring in enough to sustain your family. So I love the glasses. I love it. It's a real deal.
Is it
Right?
Secret code.
I'm just saying, you know, when
Miami, you got to have 2 incomes in Miami. It's a very, I mean, but you got to have 2 incomes, and that's why both of us. I was working, and Brother Al was working too. We were both working in our communities, but we were both working. So it's a real deal out there. It's a real deal, real world. So you just gotta, like the minister said, he said, steal away, not run away.
Right.
That's right.
Come on.
Build your nest, build it up so that you don't sink, you know, go under, you know, but yeah. Allah Akbar.
Okay.
Hey,
And
you mean being is still in Jacksonville now, T.
Listen, and it's mean. When I say that thing's so mean, it hurts. It hurts when you don't have it. That's why it's so mean.
Brother Al, you have
it's
your
a little
mean
bit, it's a little
bean
bit
queen
disrespectful
right next
sometimes.
You got the mean bean queen.
Yes.
That was it. Sister Bernice
if you did not have the mean bean queen, where would that mean bean be today?
What? I've seen.
Oh, T. Hey, T, I don't know. All I know is the mean bean queen. That's what I don't know.
All praises are due to Allah.
All praises due to Allah.
I don't need to know nothing else, T.
Thank you, Allah.
Praise be to Allah. So this question is going to actually be our last question, and then we're going to go with part 2. Okay.
Yes.
So this question is for you, Brother Al. Going back to our dear sister, may Allah be pleased with this soldier for life. Minister Ava Muhammad, stating in Real Love, one of my favorite books, a woman's needs to be appreciated. And the best way to give your wife what she needs is to help her find fulfillment as an individual. How can you describe your appreciation and your commitment to help her find her fulfillment in life as an individual being?
You know, I used to praise be to Allah for that question. I used to do a lot of workshops, you know, and one workshop I used to do, it was on the way we listen.
The
way we listen. And you know,
I think you need to bring that workshop back.
We have a tendency of listening, what we call argumentative listening.
Ooh.
Argumentative listening.
Distractive listening.
Okay.
Agreeable listening. Now watch this one. Hey, yo, watch this one. Committed listening.
Committed listening.
And I started practicing more committed listening. And I can hear when I practice committed listening. You know, not to say we didn't have our argumentative stuff, but then somebody had to submit, though. Somebody had to submit and go get back to committed listening. You know, I remember we was living in the office. We was living in the office, you know, with Brother Ron and Sister Denise. They looked out for us, you know. And she used to always speak about the businesses that she wanted. I had Sister Farrah in corporate America, Sister Farrah. And I had Sister Farrah independent, entrepreneur, Sister Farrah.
All right.
I like the independent entrepreneur, Sister Farrah, because I can smell the cooking when I get to the door. Now, wait a minute, hold it. Look now, wait a minute. Hey, look. Now, when you got the corporate sometimes, you know,
8 o'clock.
You get home late. You get home, you know. It was really kind of cold. But I didn't know. It was nothing like. You can't miss nothing if you never had it. If you never had it, you can't miss it. Can't miss it. If you never had it, you can't miss it. But because I got the entrepreneur, Sister Farrah, that's the part where heaven. That's the part right there and so now we got this little small, you know, we got a little tiny house we got because we've been watching the tiny house shows. You know, tiny house, and then God gives us a tiny house with some character in it. You know,
that's what we pray for.
But it got 2 rooms, and one room we wanted to make sure we had 2 rooms because she had to do Primerica. I wanted her to set up her 3 businesses because that's what she said she wanted. That was important for me to make sure that was set up.
So, beautiful.
She want, you know, Primerica, and she do a jewelry and Farrah wear, and she does the hats.
She needs her space, her creative
sewing machine, and she has a sewing machine. You know, and so that was because I was listening.
Beautiful.
Listening. You know, and I went and helped her set it up like that. You know, and set it up. You know, because I learned the value of committed listening. If you ever experience a workshop of that, I tell you, you'll definitely see the. I mean, it's almost like, you know, cutting the lights on and having the lights off. When you experience the difference, oh my God. Oh my God. It's like, whoa. It's like, sigh of relief. And you know, I never forget the first time I practiced it. The first time I practiced it on, she didn't know I was practicing on her, right? because I was asking her questions about her day, right? She was working in the school, and then I would ask her questions to go deeper, and then I would ask the question to go deeper and listen to her, right? And ask her the questions based on how she responded. And I'll never forget, she said, "Ooh, that was good." I'll never forget when she said it. She may not even remember she said it. But I started practicing something different, which was committed listening. And this is when she was teaching at and Lahell, she would call it.
No, Lamel
Middle School. Well,
you just messed up the whole thing.
we had to go up in the school, and God allowed us to transform the school. But
by His grace and mercy.
When I first practiced it, I heard her. Oh, that was good.
Mm.
And I kept trying to get it back. It was almost like, like a crack addict, like a crack addict get that first hit, you know what I mean? I kept trying to get her to say that back. I ain't heard it say
It got you excited.
So I must be doing something right, though. I must be doing something right, though, man.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That was a good feeling. That was good.
All praise be to Allah. Well, that was the last question.
Yes.
Kalila?
For now.
Yes.
For now.
For now. Definitely for now.
Can I make a quick shout out?
Absolutely.
To the Fajr prayer line. I want to make a quick shout out to the Fajr prayer line, which is, it gets us started in our day. It's at 5 o'clock in the morning, and Brother Mark may have an opportunity to put it out there, but this is what helped to get us through the trial that we went through. That was tremendous. And when I tell you, just getting up, making prayer with the family, and going on and reading in our final call and reading in the Holy Quran, those things, really, I can't tell you how much starting your day off with that helps.
Yes, ma'am.
Great during the rest of your day. So I just wanted to make that shout out and thank that beautiful family there. All of my family, thank you. All of Brother Al, which is all of our family. Thank you for all the work you've done with us. And thank you, all the mighty great nation of Islam and the Shore Council for the great work that you do. So
prayer, life, sacrifice, and death.
All for Allah.
Prayer, life, sacrifice, and death.
All for Allah. Yes, ma'am.
Praises be to Allah. Well,
thanks.
This ends this part of the show. I want to go into specific in regards to our knowledge corner. Our knowledge corner is when you gain knowledge, you gain power. And our knowledge corner is the 5 C's of successful marriages, right? Yes. So, Brother Mark, if you can do the honors to provide us with the 5 C's to a successful marriage, so the audience can kind of get a feel of what Sister Farrah and Brother Al experienced in these beautiful 37 years, striving with these 5, elements. I'm gonna call them elements of success. If you can go into that, Brother Mark, I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Kalila, our beautiful guest, has exemplified the 5 C's to a successful marriage. C number 1, commitment. A strong commitment to each other is essential to a lasting relationship. Communication. Effective communication is crucial for understanding and resolving conflicts. Care. Showing genuine care and affection for your partner. Compatibility. Understanding and accepting each other's differences is important. Compromise. Being willing to compromise and find solutions together is key to a successful marriage. These elements work together to create a solid foundation for a fulfilling marriage, as my brother Al and Sister Farrah.
And a
All right.
disclaimer, there's no perfection here. We just your brother and sister in a good fight.
Right.
And we are fighting for Islam, and we're fighting for our marriage.
Right.
Yep.
But like
Not
all
in our
professionals,
marriage. We're not fighting in it. We're fighting for it.
For it.
For it.
Big difference.
Yeah.
And that's an everyday thing.
but you
Yes.
know, people that are good at what they do, they make the difficult look easy.
That's right.
It's difficult, but y'all make it look easy.
Make it look so easy. Easy like Sunday
And I'm
morning.
gonna tell you, you know what's on the mind first, Joe? Look, putting a smile on the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's face.
Go back to that. Yes, sir.
So when you see what you all are saying, is praises to be to Allah for the Honorable Louis Farrakhan.
That's it.
Because we want this to represent him.
Right.
He's
That's
misunderstood, you know, purposefully, you know, and sometimes it's designed, you know, for them to turn the people away from him. But we always gonna be that light for Farrakhan and the mighty great nation of Islam.
Inshallah.
Praise be
Yes.
to
Inshallah.
Man, I'm looking for part 2.
Me too. Me
Okay.
too.
Me 3.
Y'all made it so y'all made it easy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you, fam. T, thank you, T.
Thank you, family.
Love,
we appreciate
thank you.
it.
Love you too.
Thank
Kalila.
you, family. We appreciate you.
So with that, Sister Kalila, Brother Mark.
Yes, sir. Oh, we got to do that.
Oh no, we got to support. We can't just go away. We got to support. Beloved family. You know, what we do here with the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives, we do it from the kindness and love of our heart. You know, and it's a committed effort. None of us are getting paid for this. However, there are streaming services that we have to cover down for. StreamYard does not tell us, oh, all of you are so nice. And this product is so good, we're just going to give it to you for free. No, it don't work like that.
No, sir.
We need your support.
Exactly.
And whatever you could bless us with, we are just going to go ahead and put it into the pot and make good use of what is in the pot so that we could continue broadcasting to you, our viewing audience, and so that we could continue to give guidance that is oriented towards saving lives. That's what each and every program of the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives is oriented towards. If you could donate today, does not have to be a large amount. However, if you do donate a large amount, we're not going to refuse. We're just going to take it and say thank you and say all praise is due to Allah, and we're going to use it for what it's intended for. But if you just have a couple of dollars and that's all that you have, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you for every nickel, penny, and dime. May Allah bless you all with His light of understanding. And thank you for any kind of donations you can make tonight.
Praises be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Praise.
Any closing remarks from our two beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people?
I'll just repeat. FOI.
Yes, sir.
FOI. Find you an MGT that loves Allah and His messenger just as much or even more than you.
Sir, yes, sir.
It's helpful when you don't feel like going, and then she got the suit. She got the suit and the shirt already ironed for you, right? And say, class time. Make sure this is
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? You know, when you got things set up for you, you want to come home and sleep. No, but class. Are you going to class? You on your way to your class?
Right. Oh, I thought you was in class.
You got your suit pressed up.
And then when you go to your class, it's one of the best classes you have.
That's right.
Come on.
Stay in the process. Stay committed to the process. Stay studied up.
Yeah.
Student is after Muslim a believer, one of the best titles that you can have. Stay studied up, continue to learn and grow, and help, and to continue to push and inspire each other. It's not easy.
No.
If we look like it's easy, it's not.
Right.
It's
right.
hard work.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
hard, committed work.
We're gonna keep it real right on camera.
That's-
We're gonna keep it 100.
Hard work. We were fussing right before we came and put our gloves down. We were like, we're on. But we keep coming back like AA. We keep coming back to Allah at the center. That's what it is. So we're just grateful to have beautiful friends like you all that help to buffer family. You know,
Praise
so we're
Allah.
grateful. All praises are due to Allah.
Wow.
Praise to Allah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Love and duty. That's right.
All that have commented on there. Thank you to our families, Keisha. All of you are out there and watching. Brother Chad, we saw your names. Can't mention all of you.
LaShawn.
Sean, thank you so much. They are just diehard friends. We can't even tell you. Our journey here in Jacksonville has been beautiful because of the beautiful families here. And this whole another conversation. Love y'all.
Never gonna leave Jacksonville.
Never gonna leave. Never gonna leave. Never gonna give you up. All right, Brother Tony, you can close us out.
Dear family, tune in next week as we will have another awesome program designed towards saving lives as we, the 7th Region Coalition, will be back, inshallah, God willing. May Allah God continue to bless you all and your families. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.